Hi, welcome to another edition of Life in the Boro. Welcome, Whitesboro. I'm your host, Ben Edwards, as always, and today we have with us a couple special guests. One is Cash, who's 11 years old, and apparently a Mavericks fan. And also with us, we have the owner of Ranch 82.
Yes.
One of the best event venues in Whitesboro. One of the only event venues in Whitesboro. Who are we kidding? Kenney, join us today. Thank you so much for being here, Kim.
Thank you for having me.
I love this color. It pops on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, all the guys wear black.
Oh,
So so this is great. We appreciate you being here. This is exciting to have you. All right, so I want to get started on, well, first of all, welcome, Cash. Thanks for being here. I want to talk to you about a lot of different things today because, first of all, you've got a ton of new stuff coming up at Ranch 82, some major changes.
Yes.
And people are asking questions. They want to know what's going on. They want to hear the scoop.
Right.
And at the same time, you and I have years of experience in somewhat of the same field, different little aspects here and there, but we've got a lot in common when it comes to event venues and stuff like that. So I want to hear some of the good stories and some of the horror stories, and I'll share some as well. We've got some fun stuff to share, so I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
All right, so the first thing is, tell me, you don't live in Whitesboro, right?
No, not now. Not right now.
Okay. Then the question is why Whitesboro? Why have an event venue here? Why did you choose this place?
Well, I live in Salina.
Okay.
Right now, but we do want to move up here for sure. I'm just trying to find the right time. But I was in the event industry in Dallas for 15 years, well, since 2003. And so I did wedding planning there and had a floral company in downtown.
Okay.
So basically what happened was where I get my mail, this is kind of a weird story, but where I get my mail in Frisco, the owner of that place said, "Hey, I have an event venue in Whitesboro. We're not really having the time to run it. We're not really putting what they needed to make it successful." He said, "How would you feel about having this venue?" And I was like, "Well, gosh, I don't know. I'll check it out." So met him there. At that time, the building was yellow with turquoise.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh gosh. But then you walk in and it was pretty nice. So I thought, well, I'm getting older. Wedding planning, at that point I had done over 600 weddings.
Wow.
This is really sad that I know this, but my official count was 664. So
You stopped right at the right time, right?
Right. So I was like, well, I think I'll give this a try. And so sold that business. I still have my floral business, but I don't do much with it at all. So I do have a wedding next month. I do maybe 4 or 5 weddings a year, not here.
Right.
And so just to kind of keep the creative part, of what I do. But that's not my passion anymore, I would say. So there's, a couple of really good florists here that I love supporting.
Yeah.
So anyway, but so that part of my life I thought, well, I can't work 24/7 anymore. Brides would call me at midnight saying, what do you think about pale blue versus dark blue? I'm like, it's 12 o'clock. I'm not sure I care. But, it was a lot. So I've done a lot of stuff that took, or a lot of weddings that I feel like took probably 10 years off my life.
Oh, yeah.
Did some celebrity weddings. So I had a lot of fun. I got to travel probably to about 30 different countries in my career. So that part was awesome. But it was time for a change. So the bad thing is, or I thought might be, is so I took over the building in 2019, June 2019. And then just, renovated, did a lot of work on it. And then I guess we're kind of ramping up. I think we did our first Ducks Unlimited event that year. They've been with us every year since. But we hit COVID
Yeah.
that next year. And I just thought, oh my gosh, because I dumped a lot of money into the event venue and would just go back by the pond and just cry, thinking, oh no, I had something going in Dallas. Now I'm here. I'm scared.
Yeah.
But it ended up, we survived. So that was good.
So, can we go back to Dallas? You said that you had you worked downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So was it a venue in downtown
No.
area, or were you a coordinator that worked in the downtown area often?
So I had a studio in downtown,
Okay.
just where I had my wedding planning and my floral studio.
Okay.
So I shared, it was a little red house, and I shared it with about 6 other wedding vendors.
Oh wow.
So it was really fun. For a long time, it was great.
Are you from Dallas?
I'm from Plano,
Okay.
so
Oh, that's right. You're a Wildcat?
I would
that
have
right?
been. I went to Trinity Christian.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But
Okay.
I would have been. So I think I'm a year or two older than Jessica.
Okay.
Maybe more. I'm not sure. No, I have to be more.
She's 22. No, I'm kidding.
She looks 22.
Yeah.
No, maybe I don't know, but I'm older. But grew up in the same area as her.
Right.
So.
Okay.
And then my parents moved to Prosper,
All right.
and then I moved to Salina, and have been there for 9 years.
Do you miss the Dallas lifestyle?
No.
No. I'm with you. No way.
Not at all. But it's nice to be able to go into Dallas sometimes,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of people in this area do go to Dallas sometimes if they want to go to a nice restaurant or whatever. But no, I do not miss it at all.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is the folks that grew up here, they go to the Metroplex, tons of variety and things to do and stuff.
Yeah.
I think many of us that came from the Metroplex are like, man, we've done that. I don't need to go back. I'll spend my time up here in
I know.
peace and quiet.
Right. Well, I think it's exciting because I think I know this area is growing.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people love that, some people don't.
Yeah.
But, right now, because I live on the 377 side of Salina, it only takes me about 30 minutes to get here. So it's not horrible.
Right.
And there's no generally no traffic compared to going to Dallas. But so I'd rather, tell people I'd rather, drive 30 minutes where I'm not bumper to bumper
Right.
than drive an hour bumper to bumper because they're like, oh, it's so far. I'm like, no, it's not far at all. I mean, comparatively, it's like night and day to me. So,
Yeah. If one of the big things, the big wake-up calls for me was coming here and realizing that, Gainesville is 12 miles away, which means it takes 12 minutes to get there. Or
Right.
11 minutes to get there. But yeah, I was used to driving, 48 miles across the Metroplex and it taking, 93 minutes to do it just because of the ridiculous traffic
yeah,
and a million lights and stuff like that. So it's a totally different world up here. And you're right.
it is.
I would rather drive further in calm, safe, peaceful, drive with beautiful scenery than to drive a shorter distance in DFW.
And it's gotten so bad. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when I had weddings on Saturdays, even like just in the last year or two, I kind of was weaning off of that. I mean, on a Saturday, you'd have to leave, an hour and a half early to go 30 miles.
Yeah.
And that's on a Saturday. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much everything south of you now is getting really crazy.
it is. And Salina is growing like
Yeah,
nuts.
it's going to be huge.
So, that's not something that's appealing. We moved there because of the small town, and now it's not small. So, because it's a bigger landmass than Plano.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just going to be, there's
Yeah, the
neighbors everywhere.
town border and the area surrounding that is like 9 times what it currently is, eight times. That's what it's going to end up as.
Yeah.
Huge.
So it is nuts. So we are excited to get up here for sure. He loves his friends in Salina,
Yeah.
so it's not easy. But we're here. I'm here every day, so almost every day for long periods of time. So
remind me, when we moved here in 2019 and the venue was something else, but I can't for the life. I've been trying for 2 days to remember what it was just before y'all got here.
So it was a she had half the building was a steakhouse and half the building was lawn art, the kind of metal
Okay, yeah,
lawn
yeah.
art. And she now has a place on 377. So where she just has her, not the steakhouse, but
Right.
the furniture.
Okay.
So, and it's not just lawn art, it's furniture as well. So anyway, so yeah, a lot of people remember going there for steak. So, but we took out some of the things that were in the building, like there used to be a bar in a different area and stuff. So anyway, we did a lot of work to it.
And there's the enclosed outdoor seating area,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's an area in the back as well, correct?
Right.
Now, I've not been in either of those. I've only been inside the building for events. So describe those, will you?
Well, so we have our outside patio area.
Mm-hmm.
So now with the restaurant, what we're going to do is eventually we'll have garage doors that open from the building to the outside, so we can open that up during good weather.
Right.
So we'll have tables and chairs out there. Hopefully live music when it's nice. We'll have it outside. Back in the back, there's a pond, and we built a 2,500 square foot tent. It's a permanent tent.
Oh, wow.
And
This
you can
here?
see it, yes. And so that's been an interesting thing. So, and then of course we have the pond pavilion where we have a little structure with the benches and everything out there.
And this is the covered area outside?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right outside the main building.
Okay.
So we are going to hopefully at some point turn the tent into another building like the front building, where we will host private events.
Nice. Okay.
Back there. The tent has been a interesting project. So in Dallas, I did a lot of tent weddings. So it's a cool little idea.
Oh, yeah.
But with the weather here, it's been a challenge. So we do have the concrete flooring that we polish. We do have bathrooms back there. A lot of people don't know that. They think it's just on grass, and it's not. So, and then there's air conditioning and heating units back there. So it's a beautiful view, but so if it's bad weather, it's a little more difficult. So we wanted to switch it up.
Is it rain and therefore?
Well, it's covered.
Yeah.
So rain doesn't.
I mean, like the parking, things like
Yeah,
that.
it's just it's hard. So people, I think, are hesitant to book it too far in advance.
Yeah.
It's been good for when the weather's good for family gatherings. We've had a lot of ceremonies out there because that can be a game day decision, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's been cool.
Any of the indoor-outdoor facilities are fantastic for that.
Right.
They have a section outside. If you need to go inside, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great for everybody, unless you're like me, who's the DJ and has to move all the gear
That's
immediately. Right. Yeah, that's no fun in the
That
rain.
is no fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Always plan for inside.
Yes.
Go outside if you have to.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to do it the other way around.
Exactly. So that's been good. And we'll keep the tent. Well, the weather's going to be nice coming up, so we'll keep the tent, hopefully nice, for a while, and then move it over to a permanent building.
That's great.
So yeah, so that'll be nice to have.
What's the square footage at Ranch 82?
And the main building is 6,000 square feet, and then the outside is 2,500 square feet. So sits on 7 acres.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an incredible amount of space.
Yeah, it is.
Now, what is the type of event that y'all have had the most? Weddings? I guess I mean it's like a private event instead of something y'all host.
Right.
Something that's a rental. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's been, I would say it used to be just weddings and quinceañeras pretty much, and with thrown in, an anniversary party, birthday party. The last 2 years, it's been like 60% of that, 40% are public events,
Yeah.
I would say. Because I booked in our trade days, our market days.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that once a month, and we're going to continue doing that. I mean, things are obviously changing. The restaurant will be open Wednesday through Saturday. And sorry, I might be getting ahead of myself.
No, you're good.
but so we still have ladies bingo, which obviously has been a big deal. For the last, so we've now been doing bingo for over 3 years. It's crazy.
Really?
3 years. I mean, I can't believe it. And how I would never have thought of it, honestly.
This is a monthly event.
It's a monthly event on a Monday night.
Women only.
Women only.
Except Kevin Price.
Except for Kevin Price.
Yeah.
And Mike, the bartender.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like this is the one event that everybody in town is aware of.
I feel like they are. But then again, sometimes people will call me and be like, I've just heard of this. What is it? So
Last one was March 3rd. Next one is April 7th. It's always the first Monday, is that right?
First Monday of each month, except for like on like 4th of July, and there's one other one. We don't do the first. I can't remember what it is, but Labor Day. So those are the second Mondays, but normally it's the first Monday.
Now, to me, Mondays are red flags. It's like nobody's going out on a Monday, right? Especially not during football season. Makes sense, though. The guys are maybe at home watching the game, but plenty of women watch Monday Night Football now, too. So, but this has become successful regardless. This is a fantastic event.
It is.
Jessica's, my wife, has been a couple times, I believe.
She has. Yeah, it's crazy. But they do it in Salina, the same thing that I'm doing. And so my friend said, well, you should do bingo. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to go over. So we did it the first month and sold out. And then every month since it's been great. So, and I don't think people realize sometimes how it works because we can't make money doing bingo.
Right.
So what we do is we take the ticket sales.
Well, first of all, how much are tickets?
$25.
Okay.
And we do 8 games. So included in the ticket is 3 bingo boards for each game. And we have first, second, and third place prizes, except for the last round. The 8th round is blackout, and that's the highest, or that's the biggest prize.
Okay.
So like last month, it was a Coach purse with a gift certificate or a gift card and a bottle of wine. So that our last prize usually estimated values around usually $600 to $700. So it's really it's fun, but we take the ticket sales and we buy the prizes. I think a lot of people think that all our prizes are donated, and they're not. We have maybe 1 or 2 a month that's donated, maybe.
If a company wants to donate, do you all announce it as well? This is from this company, blah, blah, blah.
And even if it's not donated and I bought it because it's a market vendor or, whatever, I still, point them out.
Support the local businesses,
Of course. So I think that's extremely important. And the reason why we did bingo in the first place was because you're right. Monday's kind of a dud night.
It's a perfect filler, right?
Yeah.
It gives you another event.
Yeah. So, even though we can't technically, make money on it except for selling food, it's a chance for people to come in the building.
Yeah, and when they come in the building, they're going to say, this would be great for this event that we have
And we've
planned.
had several weddings and a couple of birthday parties, because of them coming into the building, which has been great. So I'm really thankful for that. We've had, the support we've been shown has been just mind-blowing, and just really is heartwarming for me, because we put a lot of work into it, and we want the community to enjoy it. I feel like hopefully now being the restaurant, I'm hoping that more people will come out and experience it, and I hope, because I know there's a lot of people who don't typically do anything outside of work and home. So hopefully I'm hoping that will change a little bit.
Now, how many people show up on average usually for the bingo event?
About 180.
180 women.
About 180. Christmas was crazy.
Do you ever have single guys trying to buy a ticket?
Yes. I've had a couple of husbands
I see,
say, I'm going to come with my wife. I'm like, well, it's women's only. Sorry. Because we did 2 co-ed bingos. And they just didn't, I think we had 50 or 60 for each. And really to have great prizes, that's just not enough. So we haven't had one since.
Well, I think that we've gotten so far in society. We've gotten so far away from this is an event for men. This is a place for women.
Yeah.
You can separate. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fun to be in an environment with nothing but your peers, right?
Mhm.
And let them have a night.
Yeah.
It's we don't have to. Not everything has to be shared, right?
Yeah. I think the women have a lot of fun having girls' night.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is we have a lot of reserved tables, probably 20 to 30 reserved tables a month, a lot of the same ones, so I know. But, sometimes they bring their own food, and that's fine with me. Sometimes they, buy it from the venue. So it's a good, well-rounded event for sure. But we won't be open on Mondays. I feel like I'd probably be murdered if we stopped bingo.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But
So, what types of food do y'all serve during bingo night?
it's generally just easy stuff. Trash can nachos, or nachos, street tacos. Soup sometimes when it's cold. Just just easy items.
Well, when Jess went, she took she went once, and I don't think she took anything the first time. I think she just took some wine or some, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know what she took. Something. The second time she went, after seeing the environment, she took a whole charcuterie board with her. Like walked in with it, bags of stuff. I was
Right.
like, this is incredible. And she's like,
Yeah.
everybody's doing it.
Yeah. A lot of people bring huge spreads. It's nuts. I'm just like, wow, okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna have to eat dinner. No, I'm kidding. But it's really fun. Bingo's fun.
Yeah. So what time does it start? It's on here, I believe. Yeah.
I don't even know. No.
6:30?
Yeah. Well, yes, we say 6:30.
Doors open at 6:30.
Yeah. Well, doors open at 5.
What? 5?
5.
What are they doing?
Eating.
Setting up.
Eating.
How
yeah.
many chairs are there at each table?
It depends on the groups. So
Oh, you can reserve
you
different
can
numbers.
reserve different numbers. So we've gotten kind of used to what groups are what, and then the new people who come in, which we encourage. We like to see new faces. We have enough chairs we typically set out 200 chairs total.
How do you reserve a table? Call in?
I have
RSVP?
when they RSVP, I send an email to. Luckily, I have everyone's email, so I send out an email to everybody, just explaining what the food menu is going to be, with the reserved tables, just, and the process, just in case they don't know.
Now, here's the question I want to know. Let's see if our situations jive together. What percentage of the people are from Whitesboro that show up to these events versus from elsewhere?
I would say 30%.
Are from Whitesboro?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see that too.
Yeah. We have a lot of Gainesville.
Uh-huh.
I'd say more Gainesville than Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
Callisburg, Gordonville, Collinsville, even Pilot Point. And then we have some Ardmore, Medill, Oklahoma. We even have Bonham.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's not much to do in Bonham.
No. Probably, I don't think so. It's not.
Is that surprising to you?
No, it's not. Because any public event we have, I feel like it's a lot of Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Gainesville ladies and gentlemen. So, and then I feel like a lot of Collinsville and Callisburg and Gordonville.
Yeah.
I feel like our main where people come from the most.
So where are the Whitesboro folks? That's the big question,
I know,
right?
Big question. I would love to have the Whitesboro folks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I put it out on Whitesboro Express,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to be on the board of the chamber, so I was on the board for 2 years. So tried to get the word out as much as possible, but maybe I think a 30, maybe 40%, but it's around 30%.
Do you think that we're just too much? Not that this is necessarily a negative, but when you have 5,000, 6,000 people
Mm-hmm.
that live in Whitesboro or immediate surroundings, and an event venue right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you have an event, it's the vast majority of them are not from Whitesboro. It begs the question: Are we what people say we are, a bedroom community? The idea that they don't spend their time here, they just live here, they just sleep here.
Right.
As we'd said before, they work elsewhere. They get up, they drive to work elsewhere. They do their shopping on the way home. They grab food somewhere else, and they bring it home, and they drive their car into the garage, and the door closes, and that's the last you see of them.
Right.
They don't spend time. They don't in town. They don't shop in town. They don't go to events in town. It seems like there's quite a bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Did that surprise you when you first came up to this area?
Very much so.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not what you were expecting
I was
initially?
expecting that because there's not much to do here, that we would be packed all the time.
Fill the vacuum, right?
Yes.
Fill the void.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because I really struggled on when I first got the building on if I was even going to do weddings, if we're going to turn it into something else, like a entertainment center,
Yeah.
or something like that. And I did what I knew, what I had my experience in, as by
Yeah.
just being safe. So, which ended up working out.
Yeah.
But if I had done that, I don't know if we would have made it. I don't know. Because I see a lot of comments on Facebook, where's a place to go for this, or where's a place to go to that. I've asked a lot of questions, would you want to do this? Would you want to do that? And then when we do them, a lot of times we have not that many people show up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a second. There were all these responses saying, yes, 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 yes. And so I'm like, but okay, well, where is everybody?
Yeah, it what you said rings true to me as well, which is holding events that you would say to yourself, I know that these types of things work. So why aren't they working as well as I thought they would,
Right.
It's like balancing what we know already from much experience in the industry, balancing that with the reality of the fact that is it that they're not aware of the opportunities, the events?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that they are aware of the events but aren't interested?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's why there is a vacuum in the first place, a void
Mm-hmm.
in the first place. Or is it just a matter of time until people start to get used to these types of things? Oh, there is a cool place to go. Or is it a matter of we haven't figured out the right formula as to what people want? What type of event do they want?
Right.
It's like a big jumbled mess trying to figure out exactly what people are looking for,
Mm-hmm.
or if they're looking for anything at all.
Right.
And I think we've both gone through
Yeah.
that a bit. We
Yes.
both have events that are very successful, and we fill a niche here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as across the board, it's still somewhat of a puzzle to piece
Mhm.
together.
It is.
And like you said, coming from an environment, not that it's not from DFW necessarily where it was filled with people, and so there's got to be enough for somebody's, but it's that it was just a different atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, there was a much more higher interest level. So I don't know how to solve that problem. I think that a lot of it might come with more people coming to the area, although I don't know that any of us are necessarily rooting for that.
Right.
I think a lot of it is, well, to be honest, I don't know. I was going to give you another response. I don't think I have one. I don't know. It's just it's a lot of trial and error.
It is. I think that the growth is coming. Whether I know a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
But growing up in that kind of environment, I know for me, I always like to be doing something.
Yeah.
So we're very busybodies and like to go out and, I like to go out to restaurants and everything. So I guess my mindset is maybe different than some. I don't know, but I don't know. But hopefully that will change.
Yeah, I think one of the things that from day one, I think I've kind of rooted for is the idea that there are a handful of missing pieces from when it comes to commerce here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see those filled by locals, or at least people who are not, a corporation or something.
Right.
Like a grocery store. We need a grocery
Mm-hmm.
store. You can't really fill that locally. That's a difficult thing. But nothing against Brookshire Brothers,
Right.
but competition wouldn't be bad.
Right.
But I would love a mom and pop restaurant, something that's open in the evenings. Laha's great, but again, options.
Yeah.
It's fast food or nothing. And we have people leaving town to do stuff,
Right.
to go shopping, to eat. It'd be nice to fill some of those here without also then saying, okay, everybody, we need Chili's and, 27 of these things that come to every town, everywhere. Over time, as we grow, these are going to pop up. It would be nice to have some options here.
It would be.
Just a few.
Yeah.
And I think that you're filling one of those.
I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, I know Tenders is coming, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I live in downtown Salina, so I've been to Tenders many,
Right.
many times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fabulous. Robbie's, I know, does a good job. Their food is great as well. So I want everyone to be successful.
Yeah.
And doing different cuisines or different types of food, I think, is important. So, the barbecue and the Mexican, I think, and there's Mr. Jose's who's coming as well.
Right.
So, who, obviously they own
El Patron.
El Patron, yeah. So I think that's awesome. So that's not going to be our food, and
Yeah.
so hoping to fill another type of void in the food industry. So
I think we've hit the like the target when it comes to daytime food, lunch.
Oh yeah,
Between the food trucks, 56 Deli, Beggars, and
Lovejoy's,
Sweet
yeah.
Andy's, Lovejoy's. Yeah, I feel like we got a ton of options there.
Mm-hmm.
But where we take our kids out
after 3 p.m.
yeah. Where can we go at 7:30 to go? Even we talked about this last week. Even Pizza Hut, the old Pizza Hut, used to be a place where you could go and hang out with the family, and it was a cool environment, cool atmosphere. But now then the new one,
No, I haven't been there.
it's like sitting in somebody's kitchen. It's not fun.
Yeah,
It's very sterile, and
Yeah.
it's not. I want to go sit down at a place that has life to it.
right.
A feeling of fun, and you can take the kids and they can be loud because it's a loud environment. It's fun, it's nice,
Right.
and you don't have to worry about them screaming at each other because they're gonna so hopefully we're gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
So far you have gone through I won't say a ton of transitions, but you've incorporated new ideas into the venue.
Right.
While still continuing to do rentals and hosting your own events and things like that. Tell me about this transition to a restaurant. We got a chance to go to the soft opening
Yeah.
a week
so
and a
glad
half
y'all
ago
came.
or so. It was a great experience.
Good.
It
I'm
really
glad.
was.
I'm really glad. It was a challenge for sure. Friday night was a little bit more difficult because we were trying to work out the kinks and the kitchen was pretty backed up. And so luckily for our soft opening, we knew pretty much everyone. So, they were a little bit more gracious than maybe, if it was strangers. But we realized what we were doing wrong. And I am an open book. I will say, hey, that sucked, or I did that horribly. And, just ask for, people to come back and or give us some grace or whatever. So we learned what processes we needed to change to implement on Saturday. And for the majority of Saturday, the flow was really smooth. So
Yeah, we went on Saturday, and it was. It was exactly what I would expect for a soft opening.
yeah,
It was just everybody had a learning curve, but it wasn't there was nothing about it that was a bad experience. It was just like, okay, it takes 10 minutes longer than it'll take 3 months from now. Other than that, it was great.
Good.
Food was fantastic.
Well, good. I'm glad that you said that.
What did I eat? I ate it was like a brisket
have?
burger.
Oh, you had
Brisket on the
the
burger.
brisket banger.
Yeah.
Burger. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's good.
I didn't expect those flavors to work together.
Yeah.
And they did.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you got great French fries.
Yes. So the French fries and the onion rings, and I fought with the chef a little bit on the onion rings. I know I want to do the beer batter, and I'm like, no, we're going to do the flour battered ones, and they are delicious, and not have had one complaint about the onion rings. So I'm glad we went that direction. Nothing wrong with Whataburger's onion rings, but sometimes like the onion falls out, and so these, and there's not a picture of the onion rings on there, but I'll get one. But those are really good. So one comment I heard was from someone on Facebook was like, because we do specialize in burgers, and someone said, well, I don't need a gourmet burger. I just want a regular burger. And I said, well, we have the classic regular burger, the regular cheeseburger, but we do have some twists on the burgers. And our most popular ones for those 2 nights were the blueberry crumble burger, and that's blueberry jam with blue cheese crumbles and bacon. And that got rave reviews. And then the other one was our spicy Mikey. Our chef's name is Mike.
Yeah.
Because people ask, what is that? And on our menu, we will have descriptions of what everything is, of course. But it's jalapeno cream cheese and bacon. And it's just really good. And we have people that come in there, some of our market vendors are like, anytime you have that burger, I'll be there. So that's on our menu as well. So we're just trying to do a couple different things that are twists, so it's not just your normal burger. I think things like, bacon with barbecue, or your normal cheeseburger, or a couple of other type of burgers are just pretty standard.
Yeah.
We do a Dr. Pepper barbecue burger, so it has Dr. Pepper in the sauce.
That sounds good.
So it's good, really good with bacon. But people can get kind of as basic or as elaborate. The burger you had was sliced brisket on top of a burger patty, and we use just really quality meat. We're resourcing locally everything from produce to the meat to the jams are all. I want to support local.
Yeah.
Because that's, even with the wedding business and with bingo and some of the other public events, I've really wanted to, and on the hit that, on the bottom menu, I want to say who we're locally sourcing from. So I just think it's super important, because I think, you can go to Chili's or wherever, Olive Garden, the chains, but supporting a local business is a big deal to that local business. So, you own a business, businesses. So when you're supported, it makes everything just so much better and flow better, and you feel so much better about everything. You feel like you're doing something. So anyway, so that's kind of one of my main goals, is supporting as many people or businesses that we can locally. And that includes the bingo with the prizes, but
right.
But especially with the restaurant, that's going to be a big deal.
And the market.
And the market.
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's look at that. Here we go. This is now. How often do y'all do this?
So we're changing it up. We were doing it, and I've got to get this out there so that people know. I'm working on the flyer now for this next time, but we were doing it once a month, Saturday and Sunday, and we've always had around 40 vendors.
It was a ton of people there. It was full.
Yes. When the weather's good, we have outside vendors as well. It just depends. But we are changing it to where we're going to do it from here on out one day, a Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's going to be twice a month. So every second and
Really?
fourth, every second and fourth Saturday we'll have. One of the reasons behind that is because with the restaurant, it'll be on one side of the building. So we can only have inside about half the vendors we have now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But we can have outside vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So some will do both weekends and there will be outside vendors. And then some will only do once a month. But the purpose is obviously to have it filled both weekends inside and then whoever we can, have outside. So.
Now, if somebody wants to do this, if they want to be involved, they want to have their own booth, what do they do? How do they get that?
They just email me or a lot of people Facebook message saying, "Hey, I'm interested in this." And the prices are really, I feel like very affordable. It's $38 to be inside for the day, and outside is $25.
Wow.
So,
They what, 10 by 10? What do they get?
10 by 10 space.
Really?
So, I feel like our Saturdays at the market are generally busier than our Sundays. So, I think Saturdays is a good day to continue.
So, if for $38 inside, what are the times? How long is it open?
So it's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and they get a 10 by 10 space. And the one thing I try to do is not saturate, any one category. Yeah. So normally we try to keep it at one, sometimes two per, type of item.
Right.
So that people can actually sell their stuff.
And you've been doing this for a while too, right? This is a year or so, right?
Oh gosh, about a year and a half, I think. We've been doing it consistently. Mm-hmm.
So this continues.
That will continue.
The bingo continues.
Bingo will continue.
And tell me your hours for the restaurant.
Hours will be starting off. I really wanted to start on Tuesday because I wanted to do Taco Tuesdays, but we're going to start on Wednesdays for now. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
And so we will be open for lunch and dinner. So Wednesday, Thursday will be 11 to 9. And then Friday and Saturday will be 11. I say 11 to 11. Friday and Saturday, if we have people who want to hang out, then we're not going to close. But, we will eventually.
Yeah.
But, we will have live music Fridays and Saturday nights.
So you can come and eat, hear a band, get a drink.
Yeah,
fun time.
Right. And Saturday, people could hang out all day, if they want to when we have the market, because the market's over at 3, and then that'll give us time for
flip it
for the band to unload and start at 7. So if they come in or if they unload at 5, so I think it's gonna be a really great thing. I'm hoping for the Friday and Saturday nights, but I'm excited about it. On Wednesdays, we are going to do music bingo.
Yeah, so explain that for those that don't know how that works.
So it's so much fun. And I'm hoping that for the guys who do want to do bingo, so you'll get a board, you'll get papers that have different songs on them, and it will play snippets. And I don't know what DJ we're going to have yet do that. But
Sure.
but we'll have someone play snippets of songs, and if they recognize the song,
right,
they'll mark it on their bingo card.
So you got to not only pay attention and happen to have it on your card, but you have to know the song.
You have to know the song
from the snippet.
Yes.
Now, is it always going to be? I've done this before, and quite often it's like. The snippet is Another One Bites the Dust, and you're like, oh, I know that one. Or is it going to make it tough?
No, it's going to make it. We're going to make it a little bit tough.
That's good.
I went to a music bingo. I've been to several, but I went to one in Frisco last week, and just to kind of see how different people do it.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of times that I was like, I missed it. I didn't know the song, and I feel like usually I'm pretty between. My son Cashew was here a minute ago. He knows music. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, between the two of us, we knew a lot of songs, but we missed a few.
Not everything.
Yeah. So if you miss it, you miss it.
That's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, that's part of the fun.
It's a little bit of trivia almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so tell me, are prizes for that?
Yes. So we'll have gift certificates and some apparel type prizes.
And that's on Wednesday, you said?
Wednesday at 7 p.m.
So during food,
Right.
during dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how does that work with it? To play, what do you do? Do you buy cards?
No, it's free.
It's free?
Yeah, it's completely free. We give you the cards and the little dauber things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's free. And so if people are eating and they don't want to play, then they don't have to do that.
Right. But it's something fun going on.
Yeah, that's something going on.
See?
And I think, like, when the first time we went, I was like, oh, no, we're just going to watch. We're not going to play. We're going to watch. And, of course, Cash was like, no, we're playing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, when you start recognizing all of them,
Yeah.
right, you want to play.
yeah, so it was we had a great time. So I think people, sometimes when they initially don't think they're going to play, they end up playing just because there's, typically 3 or 4 rounds. So.
And this opens April 2nd? Is that right? Is it
April
dead set?
It is.
Okay.
Dead set, April 2nd. And then so our first bingo will be April 2nd.
And you are at 12265
Yes.
East US Highway 82.
Right. We're just about a mile and a half west of where 377 and 82 connect. I tell people when they type in the address, don't type in the address, type in Ranch 82 in Google Maps, because for some reason some of the technology devices, I don't know, send people to a weird place. But so anyway, but generally people can find us pretty easily
You're
since we're on the highway.
Next door to the ranch.
No, we're not. We're next door to Lemons.
No,
So.
I read it wrong on the. I should know this.
The ranch is next door to them, so we're super, super close.
Okay, it's 2 down then.
Yes.
2 down. Okay.
Yeah.
So how up to date are these photos? These are pretty close. Yeah.
So the website we're redesigning, it will be out Sunday.
Oh, so don't show this is what you're saying.
I'm not going to lie. I did that probably 6 years ago and
wow.
haven't changed one single thing on it.
Okay. Well, these are beautiful one way or the other.
Yeah, so
This will give people an idea
yeah, I mean,
if
a
they
lot
haven't
of
been to the venue.
Yeah, a lot of things have changed, but a lot of things are the same. But yeah, we're getting a website makeover for sure. One thing that I just really love, I spend a lot of time asking people's opinions and wanted to know what people thought. So our tag, being in the community, I wanted to say Ranch 82 Community Bar and Grill, but that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
That's a lot of words. So we're just keeping it Ranch 82. On the website, we'll probably say restaurant, bar, or, and grill, or and bar, or something like that. But our tagline is where friends gather, or good friends gather, and new friends are found. And that's
I like that.
Yeah, that's something that I mean, and I want it to be that way. I want that to be something that people know when they're coming there, that's what that is. So. Again, important to me, and we're going to do what it takes to make it be that way. So I want it to be a warm, cozy feeling. We're not looking to be a nightclub.
Right, yeah.
But we want people to, we just built a bar, an extension to the bar.
Okay.
So we have TVs, so we want people to come in and be able to sit there and watch sports.
Yeah.
Or whatever is on, but that's not our focus.
So you can still come in. Can you come in during restaurant hours and just order a drink and sit and watch TV?
Yes. So we'll have happy hour 3 to 6.
Okay.
And we're implementing what we call a pint club.
Okay.
We'll probably wait a couple weeks to do that, but you'll be able to basically buy a stainless steel cup. Put whatever you want on it, your name or phrase or whatever you want to put on it.
Yeah.
And that's your cup. We'll hang it on the wall or put it on the wall. So every time you come in, that'll buy your cup. And then with that cup, you'll get 50 cents off of each beer. And then we'll have just member only events through the year.
Oh, that's good.
And then on Sundays, you'll get $1 off, or well, I think $1 or $2 off of beer on Sundays. So that'll be kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
Something different.
Have you done something like that elsewhere?
No, I haven't.
Just gonna try it out?
Just gonna try it. No, I know of some other places that have done something similar.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of really researched, what works in some places, what doesn't work, and trying to find fun things, to
Right.
implement. So, but I know for me, that would be something that I would do. So,
What drinks do y'all have on tap?
so, right now we are just having like, what do we have? Mick Ultra, Coors Light, Miller Lite,
What do y'all have bottle?
same.
No
much.
Shiner?
Okay, so we had Shiner on draft. We will have some Shiner. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what I think. But I don't think we're gonna have like tons of variety.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 or 8 different types of beer.
Just add to it as people.
Modelo.
Yeah. Modelo, yeah.
Yeah.
But no Shiner, oh.
No, Shiner. Shiner's good. We have to have Miller Lite, obviously, or Kevin will never come.
Yeah. I knew a guy who in Fort Worth who he wanted a very specific brand of beer and nobody had it. And he made an agreement with I don't know that this was legal, but he made an agreement with his local little bar in the area that he would bring in a 6-pack of his own beer but pay the equivalent of the beer to sit in the corner and drink it, and they put it in the fridge for him. And there's no way that that's legal.
No, I don't think we can do that.
But he's like, I'll pay for it. I bought it twice just so I can drink it here.
Yeah.
But they let him get away with it.
Huh.
So no ideas, right?
Yeah.
Don't get any
No,
ideas.
we won't be doing that. Probably.
So April 2nd.
Yes.
And that is, what day is that? What day of the
It's
week
a
is that?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. So you're starting off. Are you going to start off that first Wednesday with the trivia as well, or the bingo?
We are.
I might have to come to that.
Yeah. Hope you do. Yeah, we're just gonna start out strong and do what we're gonna do. And I don't think or I don't have any misconceptions that at first it probably will be slow for the music bingo, but if we are consistent with it, and
Right.
I think that hopefully we'll gather a following.
I think that's got to be a big part of it. It's just
Yeah.
picking some stuff and finding that it works a little bit and just continue to do it until it catches on.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have to ask you about, you said 664 weddings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that just in Dallas or through your whole career?
No, that's before I got here.
Wow. And how many do you think you've done since you've gotten here?
I'm at 9.
What?
I know, this is so funny. I know because I keep an Excel spreadsheet of every wedding I've ever done. And believe it or not, it's really weird. I keep up with a lot of people either on Facebook, or I know,
that's
I see
cool.
their kids' pictures. I know what's going on. I can remember a lot about each wedding, like what colors they had, where they got married. It's interesting for sure. But so now I'm at 968. No, 960, not 969. After this last weekend.
That's incredible. I thought I'd done a lot. We've probably done 90.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. But it's funny that there are, you say you remember them all. There are quite a few. I want to forget. We've done some really cool weddings. We've done some really, from Bridezilla to it being,
Like you could write a book.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you could write 10 of them.
I could write a big book for sure. Yeah.
The Bridezillas are a bigger problem elsewhere in DFW, I would say, than we have up here. Do you disagree?
No, I don't. Up here, it's been really nice. I've had a lot more laid back clients for sure.
Yeah.
In Dallas, it wasn't so much Bridezillas, it was Mother of the Bride that were so hard. I mean, I had all kinds of situations people wouldn't believe. But yeah, I'm so thankful not to be in that. In fact, I have friends who are still,
in that business.
in the business up there, and I'll go to like an industry lunch occasionally, and I'll just be like, oh, thank you, Lord, because it's rough. So
We often, as the DJ, when we would be hired to do an event, a wedding especially, that was very well organized,
mm-hmm.
then it would either be a complete disaster because they organized it so well.
To the T.
Yeah, and then anything that that is off of their exact line of what they want done, regardless of which vendor did it or which guest did it, if it's off what they expected, it's the whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
Or they show up and they are completely unprepared, and we have people asking, do we do the ceremony first or the reception?
Right.
I mean, to that extent of not knowing what to do. And we, over the years, expected to just be just the music players, right? And it turns out you end up being the coordinator. You end up timing everything throughout the evening. And luckily, Jessica and I usually work as a team, and I'll do I'll do the technical stuff, and she's the person who's the go-to, and because of that, I think that we ended up with a broader experience than I think a lot of wedding DJs.
Yeah.
Where it's what's the first dance? What's this? What kind of feel are you looking for? And it ends up being okay, give us the entire event beginning to end, walk us through it so that we know in the moment how it's supposed to go. You're coordinating first dance, you got to get the videographer, the photographer, the lighting, everything done.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never, even though we've done that role a lot, we've never been the actual planner, the actual coordinator. And I can't imagine.
Like starting from scratch, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did that with our wedding, but we had a coordinator to help us with that.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine. We've had amazing, incredible, beautiful moments that everything went just right, and we were able to help create a magical moment for that couple. And then we've had some absolute disasters for things that they've done. And I can't imagine how many you've seen.
Yeah.
So you got to share at least one story.
There are so many. I'm trying to think of one really good one. Let me think.
Do you remember your first wedding?
I do. It was in Fort Worth.
Yeah, where was it?
Renaissance Burlington, Fort Worth.
Okay, yeah.
And their kids now their oldest kid, I think, is 18.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. That was back in 2000. My very first one was in 2004.
Okay.
So, before a lot of people were born. So that's nuts. But, yeah, I mean, one of like a crazy situation is I had a bride whose dad had been married 6 times, and her bridesmaids were all of her ex stepmoms.
Oh, what?
5 of them were 5 of them had been married to her dad. And she had gotten close to all of them.
Oh, wow.
And
they were cool with this.
Yeah, until the day of course.
What?
Well, until there was hardly any drama until the day of.
Was the dad there? I assume so.
Yeah.
He was there, and he was cool with this?
I don't know. I don't think it was in his control. He was very passive. But when she told me this, I was like, "Oh my gosh. Like this is it's going to be drama.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, because they were never in the room at the same time.
Yeah.
And then the day of, there were snarky comments upon snarky comments, and one of them started crying, and then she walked out, and I was just like, why would you do that? I don't know. Okay. But I'll never forget that. Then that was probably 12 years ago. Did all
the moms, stepmoms, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they wear matching
Mm-hmm.
dresses? Really?
Mm-hmm.
They were that coordinated?
Mm-hmm.
They were that willing to do it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were any of them their current wife?
No, he wasn't married at the time. Yeah. No, he had gotten divorced. So anyway.
You don't say.
Right? I mean, that's weird. After 6 times, if you don't get it right, I don't know what to tell you. So that was one. I did I I can't remember his last name, but the guy from Jackass, Bam.
Yeah, Bam Margera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his name. I did his wedding in Southlake.
No.
And you walk in, and there's probably 30 talking birds.
What?
Like, parrots and just all kinds of talking birds in the house. And that was an experience for sure. They did a goth wedding type, so it was cool. It was really fun. But that was an interesting experience for sure.
Now, how do you get connected to Bam Margera? Like, what? Are you just that famous there?
No.
I mean, how do you?
No. At that point, it was so when I started, there were literally 12 wedding planners in all of DFW. Like, we all knew each other. It wasn't cool. It wasn't a popular thing. It wasn't a cool thing at that point.
Yeah.
Now there's about 200.
Yeah.
At least.
Everybody wants to do that.
Yeah. So I'm glad I did it when I did. And yeah, I mean, I had to work hard, but being from Dallas definitely made it easier.
Yeah.
Because I knew people who, don't say I know people. That's dumb. But I had, growing up there, I had friends who had friends.
Yeah.
And
a lot of connections.
Yeah, and then college and stuff. So I went to TCU for a year, and then I went to Baylor for the rest. So I had connections, both of those places. So it just kind of snowballed, and so that was good. Same with the other planners.
So you knew people in Waco, you knew people in Fort Worth,
Yeah.
you knew people in Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do any better than that.
No.
Do you know anybody in Denton?
Well, I had one of the football coaches did his wedding,
Wow.
and Jamie, I think he still coaches. So, but yeah, it just kind of, and my parents have friends, so
Right.
that sort of thing. But it was nuts. So, for sure, good experiences, most of them.
Yeah, we did a lot. We got married in Arlington, Mediterranean Villa. You know where it
Oh
is?
gosh, yeah.
That was an experience because,
I don't think they're around anymore.
well, the building is still there, the facility's still there. It's just got a new name.
Mm.
We didn't realize that till just recently, but we got married there, but we signed the contract before they broke ground. They had that place built. I think that maybe they had started, but there wasn't even a building. Like, the foundations were on there. So we sat through the whole, here's what it's going to look like and all this. But the biggest thing is that it was, this huge facility. It's beautiful. And it was so discounted because everybody was just, taking a chance that this place was going to be what they said it was. And so we got it for, maybe a quarter or a third of what it would eventually be. And it was a beautiful facility. And we went back a year later because it was catered. So I said, well, let's go back for our first anniversary and have lunch there just to, go back. And it was, through the roof prices at that point.
Yeah.
Totally undoable. Not doable for us at that point. But because of that, our experience was all of our vendors were priced at, the regular rates that you would expect. But we found a DJ who was very inexpensive and just awesome. I think we're still friends with this guy on Facebook.
Oh, really? I wonder who he is.
18 years later. But he gave us a great deal, and he did a fantastic job, and he went above and beyond, and he made special moments throughout the night. He was great. And we got married in 2006, and by about 2010, we said, we have a history in music. We're both musicians. We understand sound equipment. We understand popular music. We've been to enough of these things. This couldn't be that hard. So why not do it ourselves?
Yeah.
And then be that same person for everybody else. So we always made it a point to try to give the same service, the same, experience that they would get, but for a considerably lower price. And that was good and bad because with that, as you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
and
you do.
So either you get two types of people. You get people who don't believe that you're going to give them the same quality of service for that price. And then you get people who say, "Oh, it's so cheap, I don't care,"
Yeah.
and they, don't get a lot of respect
Yeah.
from that. But I think that our reputation was good enough to where we overcame those
So I
things.
didn't even know that y'all did that. Like, I didn't know that was y'all's full-time job.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, no, it was never really our
full-time?
full-time
Okay.
job, but
Just on the weekends.
yeah, we did it.
In Dallas?
Yeah, DFW, all over Fort Worth.
Gosh, what years was this?
2011 through 18 or
Well,
so.
I don't know how our paths didn't cross then.
They may have.
So
I don't know. We
they
did
what was
Spotlight Sound, DJ service.
Oh, I'm sure that
We
that
worked
our-
all over DFW.
Yeah, I'm sure that our path they had to have crossed
Yeah,
at some point. I mean, even with networking, events or whatever. Because, I mean, I was all over the place. Just doing networking and then weddings, and I had other coordinators. So surely you worked with somebody I
Yeah.
know, or photographers too.
Yeah, we often would come across people we recognized
Yeah.
from previous events. We were never like, it was never it was never going to be our day job, but it was something that we enjoyed doing, and it was, an opportunity to do something. Everybody wants to. I want to use my skills to make that person's day the best it can be.
Right.
That's the most, and because of that, I got to tell you that weddings stress me out. The longer we did it, the more it stressed me out, because so much is on the line, and you want to make it the best day possible. And I still have moments of, slight errors here and there for things, and it just eats at me, even today. Everything went perfectly on our wedding. And 99% of the time it goes perfectly with things nobody wants to be the person who, that's what the bride remembers.
Right.
That's what the groom remembers
The wrong
from
song.
that day. Yeah. We never did quite that much, but but way more than any kind of mistakes or errors. So many opportunities to be a huge helper in making that person's, most important day magical.
Right.
And we just love that.
Yeah.
We always love that.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. But doing weddings is very, very rewarding. Emotionally, and just knowing that you had some kind of part in someone's happy day. So for sure.
Those are always great until a year later when you find out that they got divorced already. We've got a bunch of those.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is true for everybody, but my friends in the industry would talk about how we could kind of tell who was going to make it and who wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And you really can. I mean, if the bride and groom are fighting like really bad on the wedding day or before the day before at rehearsal, not the best sign.
Yep.
If bride's running down the hall crying because they are fighting, that's definitely not a good sign. So you could kind of tell a lot of times, who was going to make it. I'd probably be rich. My gosh. There's two
Just
things I could
betting
be
on it?
rich on. If I could predict that, if I could make money on predicting that, and then predicting on, based on RSVPs, how many people are actually going to show up. Those two things.
Oh, we would do so much better in life if we could figure those things out.
Yeah. So anyway, but we'll still do weddings at Ranch 82, but we do. And it's going to be difficult at first because we do have weddings booked where we're going to have to say, the restaurant's going to be closed those days.
Right.
We're transitioning. We have those weddings booked already. But in the future, we won't do very many inside the main building until the back's done. So, or I won't be booking weddings. So we're going to have a section for private events, meaning like birthday parties or, reunions or whatever. But it's going to be an interesting, because I've had people ask me that, like, well, what about the weddings? This is not an event venue anymore. And like, well, it's not going to be in the front part. We are going to do a full-blown restaurant. So, but we will be having to, but I feel like if we make people aware that we'll be closing, a month or so ahead of that time, that people will be understanding why we transitioned.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and hopefully we'll have enough business and crowd to where that's a problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not a problem, but something that,
Yeah.
you know, isn't like, oh, well, we're not well anybody anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we don't want that.
I think that you're going to be successful.
I think so. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Hope so.
April 2nd.
April 2nd.
And let's see here. They can email you at events@ranch82.com.
Yes.
And the website is ranch82.com.
It is.
And is this the correct phone number?
It is.
You can be reached at 469. Does it bother you that you have a DFW?
You know, no one's ever said anything about it.
Yeah, same thing. We've got 817, both my phone number and her phone, because why change it? We've been here
Yeah.
6 years.
You
but
can't change it, really. I
so
don't think.
I wonder if people go, 817.
I don't think so. Because, I mean, there are people that have California phone numbers from like
that's
20.
way worse.
Yeah, I know, right? You don't want to have that. But from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, you can't help it. It's not their fault.
I don't really think anything of it. I've never had anyone say anything like, all right, where are you located?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's a way to change the phone number.
We just got a home phone. I haven't had a home.
You have a home phone?
A home phone.
Oh, wow.
Plugs into the wall.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A home phone. And we still have our cell phones, but it's a 903 number. And I was like, okay, we made it. Right? We're finally part of the community. Yeah. 903. Okay. So 469. They can reach you at 469-396-5070.
Yes.
Nestled deep within the pastoral meadows of North Texas, horse country, Ranch 82 is the hidden jewel.
Right? I did not come up with that.
Who wrote that? This has been here before AI.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody did.
You don't know?
No, I don't. I mean, I think that was on the old website from the lady who ran it before me. The event center. She ran it for about 5 months. And I think I just liked it, so I kept it.
The next bingo night, April 7th. Is that right? Let's share this real quick.
It is.
April 7th, yeah. And this event was fantastic, by the way. My wife loves this event.
Yes.
My mother-in-law goes with her.
That is always. This was our third year to host that, and it's a great event. It's so much fun to see the different clothes, the new clothes for the season from the different boutiques. A lot of women come support that, and the History Club of Whitesboro has been fantastic.
Yep.
So that's always a fun event.
And this always takes place early March, is that right?
Yes, on a Sunday. So, which is perfect. So we'll be hosting that event again next year.
A lot of great local businesses listed there.
Yes, there sure are.
Now, Bunkhouse Boutique, I don't know them.
They're just a little bit outside of Whitesboro.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to anything that's not Whitesboro.
Right. So they're a little bit outside, but yeah, that's a fun one.
Y'all do a ton of fun stuff, and I'm glad to hear that you will continue having musicians,
Yes.
live music during
Live music.
during dinner. I'm excited to hear that your hours. That's going to be great, and that you're doing some fun stuff during dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, there's a lot of people that say there's nowhere to go dancing, or they have to go to Denison, or there's nowhere in Gainesville, so the people from Gainesville have to go to Denison a lot of times unless they go into Dallas. And so this will be a chance for people to come much closer to home, not have to drive, so far at the end of the night. And we're going to have great bands, and we have a great dance floor space. It's funny because I always thought we'd continue the dance floor on the concrete.
Right.
But people like the dancers are like, no, it needs to be on the wood because it's a lot easier to dance. So I was like, okay, well that makes sense. So we just switched, the restaurant on this side of the building instead of where I thought it was going to be, where we do
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I think that'll be fun because it's a quite bit. I mean, I think it's a pretty large dance floor.
Oh yeah, it's very big.
Yeah. it's a big space.
Yeah.
So it's a big space in general.
Now, who was the guy who was performing on Saturday nights?
That was Zach Page. He's local to Whitesboro.
Okay.
He's awesome. He performed before at Ducks Unlimited. That's how I found him.
Yeah, that's another great event that y'all host. Right?
Yeah, it is. This year it'll be in early August. But yeah, he's amazing. We've got a lot of really great local talent. And so I'm hoping that people will come support those people because they're awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll do a lot of bands. When we did the Whiskey Bandits band on Valentine's, both Friday and Saturday, that was a huge hit. People love them. But I could go on and on about all the different bands and name them, but they'll be playing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So April 2nd.
April 2nd.
Be
oh my
there
gosh.
or be square.
Yeah, it's so close.
Yeah.
So
What was that, like 2 weeks? Week and a
week and a half.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'm just finishing the menus and the website. That's the only two things I've got left to do. So
Do we know when the website will be live?
hopefully Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're working on it. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Time is flying by.
Hey,
Sure.
you got to come back and visit with us again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's
This
fun.
was awesome.
Yeah, so
yeah.
fun.
Tell all your friends that this is a great podcast, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Yes, I certainly
You got a lot
will.
of connections, right? You said so yourself. All
I hope so, yeah.
right, well, I appreciate it, Kim. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
thank you
Ben.
guys for tuning in today on Life in the Borough. I'll see you next time.